Is having your kids make their bed a rule in your household? As one mom to another mom, I know the job of parenting is the job of making rules. When your kids are little, you are making rule after rule after rule after rule. You're deciding what you're gonna feed your kid, what time is nap time, there's bedtime, there's toys that they play with. You are just making a whole lot of rules. And sometimes these rules are really important to us. They're deep within us. They're something that we truly believe in. But sometimes these rules are just coming in from other directions, and we kind of just assume them, take them on as our own. For instance, maybe you have a rule because that's how your mom did it. Your mom always made you take the trash out, so you're gonna have your kids take the trash out each day. Or maybe you just read the New York Times best-selling book about mothering. This famous child psychologist was convinced that you must have your kid go to sleep 7:30 p.m. each night. That's the rule. So you do that. Or maybe someone else really significant in your life, like your sister or your friend or your mother-in-law, says a rule that you just take on. I remember one was that never let your kids eat between meals. If you do, they'll never be hungry enough to have like the proper dinner that you've prepared. It's kind of like all these rules become a part of your life and a part of your kid's life. Every once in a while, you might want to just check in and see, is this a rule with like a capital R? Or maybe this is just a rule with a small r. Making your bed each morning is a beautiful thing. Let's consider the positives of it. It brings an orderliness and a tidiness to the room. It's so beautiful to look at. It's excellent in the sense of when you get back in your bed at night, it feels very fresh. Making your bed each morning can help with that transition of waking up, coming out of home space into the world. Going from, your room to school. It can create that rhythm. There's also this beautiful thing of tidiness on the exterior can bring like tidiness, orderliness on the interior. So making your bed does have a lot of beautiful attributes. Then you have to weigh that against the time of day that you're trying to fit this in. The morning is a full time, and there's so much that needs to happen. Maybe you're a morning person, and when you wake up, you are just ready to go. And getting things done, it's easy, you feel powerful, it flows so well. Think about the things that have to happen in the morning. Get up, get dressed, there's breakfast, making lunches, brushing teeth, getting the backpacks loaded. That is a lot in a small amount of time. If you're not a morning person, and I am not a morning person, I find all those tasks in the morning to be difficult and painful. Lessening that list is a relief. So maybe I have a soft space in my heart for kids that are also just not morning people. If making your bed is something that's truly deep for you, amazing, awesome, go for it. Follow your heart. I heard this Buddhist speak recently about making his bed each morning as part of his rhythm. It was stunning. It was like spiritual, inspiring, and beautiful. I was like, wow. If there's something there that's true to you, there it is. You got it. Hang on to it. The thing with rules is that you make a rule, you've got to make consequences. If you don't make consequences, then it's not really a rule. It's a suggestion, it's a hope. You're gonna make these rules and you're gonna have a kid that doesn't want to do it. And that's where the rub is gonna come up. And enforcing consequences is a job. It is a hard job and it is unpleasant and it takes work, but it's part of parenting. So it's cool too. You gotta stand your ground. I would suggest making a list of your rules. Write them all down. Get them out. You might not even think you made a rule, and then as you're making this list, you're like, oh yeah, I have made that rule. Your kids will certainly help you with that list because they know a lot of rules that you're enforcing. Make your list, go through it, kind of peter out the big capital R rules and maybe the small r rules. And then hang on to those jewels, those gems. Commit to them. Be clear first to yourself and then clarify to your kid. These are the deal breaker rules. No budging. And these rules we are working toward, but there's more flexibility. Clear it up for yourself so that your kid is really clear. And when you're clear like that, it really helps everybody. Sometimes kids can't figure that part out. So help them out there. One of the consequences we tried with our kids was, and this was when they were really little, I would put my kid in the corner for, 30 seconds, a minute. It wasn't a long time. And with my first kid, it worked great. I mean, she hated the corner. You barely had to leave her there for under a minute, and she was so sad and so sorry. She hated that disapproval. Just that separation, as small as it was, really conveyed the consequence. It worked. It was great. With our next kid, when I would put him in the corner, he would go to the corner, walking all proud with a kind of smirk in his face, like he liked the corner. He didn't care. He acted like being in the corner was just fine. He could stay there all day. That's not a consequence. Oh, and it would grate on my nerves to see that this consequence was not a consequence for him. Well, I had to come up with a different consequence for him. So these consequences, these rules, they are a process. Trying, seeing what works with each child, and that's going to be different. If making your bed is a big rule for you, beautiful. You're going to impart something special to your kid. But if you just need to shine some light on it, bring some flexibility to it, that's cool too. Sometimes I found that a rule I made wasn't a capital R rule, it was a small r rule, and it just needed some flexibility to it. For instance, maybe just time of day. That morning rush, too crazy. But if I shifted the rule to the afternoon, then when they came home, they could do it then. Peace is now back in my household. Or maybe I didn't want to see the mess in the room. It was really something that just grated on my nerves, but I didn't want to make it a big thing. So if possible, maybe I just close the door, turn my view another way so that I'm not just like focusing on it and like it's driving me crazy. I also found that making the bed got a lot easier when I switched my kids' beds from this American style bed where it's like there's a top sheet, there's a blanket, there's a bedspread. That's like a lot of things to get in order, like spreading the sheet out, tucking it in, like the blanket, spread, then the whole bedspread. I found in Europe this duvet style bed where all you have is the duvet and the duvet cover, which goes around the duvet. So making the bed suddenly was just like dragging the duvet up the bed. Done. Beautiful. Simplified. Easier. Taking that spirit of the law, being flexible and creating options for yourself and for your kid can really soften sometimes these battles that might happen between mom and kid. Another thing I saw is that for certain kids, going on and on about the attributes of making your bed and how wonderful. For one kid, it landed, made total sense. For another kid, they just didn't care. As long as I went on about it, they still didn't care. Just was what it was. It's a mystery. We're doing our best as a mom, but our kids are their own people. Another thing I found, which was very shocking and wonderful, is that I may have been talking to my kid for years about cleaning their room, making their bed, showering regularly. They never cared, and then one day, everything changes. They're doing it of their own. They're self-motivated. Where did that come from? I don't know. Maybe they wanted to impress a new friend at school, or maybe they're just getting older and suddenly they actually notice for themselves and they value that. It's not something you can make happen, but when it does happen, it is glorious. It is beautiful. Sometimes at night, I would pour myself a glass of wine, think about that beautiful moment, savor it for as long as it was there, because those are the jewels